When you are making money from somebody else's country, then you want African Ubuntu. When you are thriving, driving cars, buying houses, living peacefully, not being bothered by the police or the state, then you want African Ubuntu in that country. We are all Africans. When people come into your country and they start shitting in the corners, peeing in the neighborhood, making noise, then you don't want Ubuntu anymore. You say they must go back to their country. South Africa really xenophobic, or they're just trying to blackmail that nation to make them feel bad for wanting good things for themselves, good things that other countries actually want for themselves too. By the end of this video, you will see a bias. You probably will see a bias on how some countries want things in their country, but they don't want South Africa to apply the same things in South Africa. What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. You appreciate it. Okay, first of all, I'm in my farm, as you can see. Yes, I am a farmer too. Maybe you didn't know that. Yes, I do a lot of cows and horses. No pigs, no pigs. I love it. You know, it's the wild, wild west. You must come to Africa, my brother. Africa is beautiful. Africa has so much to offer. My brother from the Caribbean, from the United States of America, from the UK. Africa has great things to offer. Don't listen to the naysayers and those people that are telling you that you're not from Africa. You was born in America. Your great-great-grandfather originated from America. It's fine. We like them too. But if you feel like you connect to us, then you should come. There's so much lands to offer. So much opportunity. Bring a good mindset, positivity, and some money. Some chilete. Onyaka chilete. Anyway, let's talk about this. Now, Ghana is rounding up on many people and sending them back to their countries. Who are these people? These people right here on the screen, as you can see. Have you ever been to Africa for the first time or traveled to another African country, and as soon as you stop the car by the traffic light, thousands of children just come running to the window and begging, asking you for money? It's disgraceful, isn't it? Ghana is rounding up these kids and sending them back to their countries. First of all, this is Ghana on the map. It's a beautiful place. It's a lovely country. If you've never been, I suggest you go check. So Ghana is arresting and deporting foreign nationals, mostly from neighboring West African countries. Ghana is deporting foreign nationals. That's crazy. Well, let's continue. Well, Ghana rounded up about 2,500 people involved in street begging, and among them, 1,300 were children. And the majority came from this country here, from Niger. I'm very surprised. Ghana rounding up people and sending them back to their countries because they are foreigners and illegal. I mean, this is interesting. Sounds like what's happened in South Africa recently when South Africa said, acting this way, you forgot what we did for you. Why is Ghana doing this? The authorities of Ghana have described this as professional and organized street begging. So what they're basically saying, it's a system that causes human trafficking network that exploits women and children. So what they're saying is there are some people with power that will recruit children and women with children and send them to beg in mass. Massive amount of people will beg. At the end of the day, they will go back to a center where they will collect the money and give them a salary. So it's basically like a work. That's what Ghana says. Ghana says combating those human trafficking group. But are all these people part of human trafficking group? No, not all of them. Some of them, yes, but not all of them. The other reason Ghana says they are clearing public spaces, what they call nuisance and potential security risk. So Ghana doesn't want these people anymore and want them to go back to the country. You see, this is Niger, this is Ghana. Now, why do these people go to Ghana? So basically, they leave their country because of misery and pain and suffering. Okay, a lot of these kids are actually refugees. They come from the Sahel. You see, this is the Sahel countries. It's very hot over there. Desertic in some areas. So it makes life very difficult for them. We have a paradox here, fellas, because this is what South Africa said they wanted for their country, right? Nuisance, unnecessary people occupying unnecessarily areas they shouldn't be occupying, doing jobs reserved to South Africans. Okay, so what's happening now? I mean, many Africans say you must call upon Ubuntu, you must call upon African being united. What's happened to African unity when it comes to beggars? So it's okay to have your countrymen in other countries doing saloons, selling food in the street, and doing other things that are not supposed to be done by foreigners, but it's not okay for having foreigners that are genuinely suffering from a neighboring country going to your country looking for a better life. And some people will say, well, those one are beggars. I mean, maybe they don't have the mindset that you have of creating a business, the easiest way and creating a business requires you to have some sort of funding. What if I don't have funding? What do? I beg. Why do you send them back if they come from poor countries and terrorism and banditry? Every country prioritizes its own citizen first. It means when unemployment and poverty rise, population and governments become tougher on foreigners who are generally blamed for taking jobs, increasing crimes, and overloading public services. So it's a natural movement. Okay, you can't just call South Africans xenophobic because they say you must leave. Because when poverty rises and employment, they will blame foreigners. Lesson number 2, African unity remains fragile when economic and social pressure increase. Please write it down so you don't forget. The African unity is fragile, my brother, when economic and social pressure rise. So it's all about money. People like African Ubuntu when there's opportunities to gain. Yeah, when you are winning, then you want African Ubuntu. When you are making money from somebody else's country, then you want African Ubuntu. When you are thriving, driving cars, buying houses, living peacefully, not being bothered by the police or the state, then you want African Ubuntu in that country. We are all Africans. When people come into your country and they start shitting in the corners, peeing in the neighborhood, making noise, then you don't want Ubuntu anymore. You say they must go back to their country. Lesson number 3, my brother. Solidarity among Africans often stops where competition of resources begins. So when there's no competition, you are friendly. Okay? When competition begins, when you have to open a shop and the neighbor has to open a shop, but the neighbor is not from the country and he's taking some of the clients, that becomes a problem. So your solidarity or so-called Africanism, it's about economics. Now, you need to understand one thing, which I think I'm going to summarize here very simply. Africa need to work on developing Africa. If there's no money, no opportunity, no resources, you're always going to fight over who should stay where. Now, stop blaming South Africans saying they are xenophobic. South Africans are looking after themselves. Okay, their people don't have jobs. They want jobs. Now, maybe the jobs are not what you're taking, but the fact that you're there, you look like you're thriving, you're going to have enemies. Whether you like it or not, this is a very natural movement. It has nothing to do with hating you. It's basically, okay, this is my neighborhood. Why my grass is not grassing, but yours is grassing? But no, my brother, go back to your house first. Maybe your energy is negative. Now, I do not condone beating people up, but Ghana is also sending people back to Niger and Burkina Faso and Nigeria. Those people are running away from the country, going to Ghana because they perceive Ghana as a better country, better opportunity for them. Ghanaians are also leaving Ghana, going to Canada for World Cup, then staying there forever. Some going to South Africa because South Africa is a better place for them than Ghana, or else they wouldn't be in South Africa. So everybody's looking for opportunity for themselves. And every country must take care of their own people in the same way Ghana is saying, you must go back to your country. We don't want to dismantle this human trafficking. Yeah, it's human trafficking. Not all of them are human trafficking. Some of just poor people that left their countries because of poverty. Some have left just because of terrorism. Some have left because of instability. They're looking for better life. They believe Ghanaians are nicer people. They are genuine. They are kind and stuff. In the same way you live in your country going to South Africa. So there must be balance. As much we have to condemn the people that are doing negative things to people, we need also to be fair about creating wealth and opportunity for the people.